Donald Trump's first administration was a carnival of self-enrichment for himself and his cronies. But one thing that really pisses Trump off is people profiting off of his name for personal benefit instead of his financial benefit. And it seems that Boris Epshteyn, a longtime Trump advisor, may have broken that cardinal rule. Epshteyn helped organize Trump's legal defenses and has been helping make cabinet selections, including pushing Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, just to give you an idea of his judgment. But I digress. According to the New York Times, Trump's legal team found evidence that a top advisor asked for retainer fees from potential appointees in order to promote them for jobs in the new administration. Trump directed his team to carry out the review of the advisor, Boris Epshteyn. The review claimed that Epshteyn had sought payment from two people, including Scott Bessent, whom Trump recently picked for Treasury Secretary. According to the review, Epshteyn met with Bessent in February at a time when it was widely known that he was interested in the Treasury post and proposed $30,000 to $40,000 a month to promote Bessent around Mar-a-Lago. Bessent declined. Bessent then called Epshteyn on November 14th to see whether he was criticizing Bessent to people around Trump, the review said. Epshteyn told Bessent that it was too late for him to hire and that he was Boris Epshteyn with an expletive between the two names. Well, it doesn't seem like Boris blanking Epshteyn's influence mattered, since Bessent still got the job a week later. But it seems Boris made a similar hard sell to other candidates. The second person cited in the review was a defense contractor from whom he sought $100,000 a month. The report said Epshteyn depicted his own hiring as do or die for the person's prospects. According to the review, the contractor did not hire Epshteyn and is fearful of retaliation. Joining me now is David Cord, Washington bureau chief for Mother Jones and MSNBC political analyst. And welcome to Groundhog Day, my friend.
Yes. Here we
go.
More
corrupt, but less funny.
Yeah, less whimsy this time.
Less whimsy.
This time around. You know, it's kind of like this is like the Sopranos moving into the White House here.
Truly.
I mean, Boris Epshteyn was always kind of a second-rate political commentator.
On MSNBC, because I used to debate him on MSNBC.
That's right, and elsewhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, people kind of like thought he was kind of a bit of a funny character.
A goof.
You know, a couple of years ago, he tried to make money in crypto with Steve Bannon. Mm-hmm. I wrote about that at Mother Jones. It didn't go well. That, you know, if you look where that crypto is now, it's a flat line.
You're saying he wasn't good at business.
You know, he wasn't good at business. And so now we have this mob-like thing where I can just see him, you know, walking into these guys and saying, you know, nice little office you have here. If you want a better office, I think I can help you.
You got to pay me, right?
You know, you got to pay me. I mean, this is mob-like behavior. It's and it's not surprising. And is he being bounced out of the Trump circle for this? Well, so far, no.
Right.
I mean, he's also, don't forget, under indictment.
Correct.
In Arizona, while being one of Trump's biggest advisors up at least until this point. And it's just part of a larger piece. The Trump transition team won't tell us who's funding it.
Right.
It could be anyone. It may be foreign sources, maybe people who are trying to get jobs from Trump. Usually, you know, they take public funds and that's it. And you don't have to worry about corruption before they get into office.
Right.
But now we have to worry about corruption before they get into office.
Let me just go through some of the people who stand to benefit financially from a Trump administration. Of course, Elon Musk at number one. He's got at least $15 billion in government contracts. Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink just being three. Vivek Ramaswamy, the other person on his efficiency commission, $670 million in stock from Rovient Sciences, which is pursuing FDA studies for 3 drugs. Dr. Mehmet Oz. And of course, Vivek did a pump and dump before for a drug company. Mehmet Oz, millions of dollars in investments in healthcare and food companies regulated by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which he would run. You just go on and on. Dr. Oz's holdings include up to $600,000 in United Health, the major insurance company, and $2.4 million in Amazon, which owns One Medical and accepts Medicare. So these guys would be self-dealing inside the administration, theoretically. Theoretically.
And you just talked about tariffs in the first segment, the potential for corruption there for companies who want exemptions or companies who want tariffs put on other sectors.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be even
and they all have to do is write a check.
Do you remember these words, drain the swamp?
Yeah.
Oh, drain this. It sounded so
quaint.
Lovely, so quaint. Susan Wiles, the chief of staff for Trump, is a lobbyist. Boris Epstein is a swamp creature. There are others who will be coming in, taking powerful positions. This is not draining the swamp. This is building the Trump swamp.
Yeah.
We have Jared Kushner with $2 billion from the Saudis already. We have Trump with his own business having deals in the Middle East. We have him bringing in a special advisor in the Middle East who has his own deals with Middle Eastern bankers. And I don't think there are enough journalists who will be able to cover all the sleaze that will be pouring. I mean, this is...
Well, and cover it, because then he's also got the threat of maybe putting those journalists in jail if they try to get any sources inside the administration and any leakers who talk to them. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this is starting to sound a lot more like Russia, where Vladimir Putin is the heavy, and anyone who wants to do business in Russia allegedly has to give him a little money.
I mean, remember the Trump Hotel when he was here the first time? Now it's Mar-a-Lago. All these people are holding fundraisers and events in Mar-a-Lago, so he gets money out of that. You know, this is, you know, it's grift, grift, grift.
And the thing about
it's just never going to stop.
It's never going to stop.
I mean, emoluments. Remember we used to talk about emoluments?
That doesn't exist anymore.
You know,
and also John Roberts.
It's in the Constitution.
Well, John Roberts says the Constitution is optional for Donald Trump. He said it over and over again, including Article 3 of Section 14 of the 14th Amendment. The thing that is so kind of sad in a way is that a lot of Donald Trump's base, they see him as above politics because he's rich. They say, well, he doesn't need money. He didn't even take a salary as president. He doesn't need to take a salary. He's going to make billions of dollars, and he did the first time too.
And they also see him as a champion of the working class.
Yeah, it's a joke.
You know, last time around he did tax cuts for the rich.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again. The tariff's going to hit middle income, low income people more than anything else. And even when he was president, he cut back on overtime.
Yeah.
He tried to cut back a regulation that would have expanded overtime for workers. So we're going to see him not serve the working class. We're going to see a lot of pocket lining from his aides on the side and from his own family, from Trump himself. So, I mean, this is autocracy. It's oligarchy. It's all rolled in together into one gigantic reality TV show. We saw it before. We're going to see it again, and I think it's all going to be worse. It's
going to be worse. And we didn't even get into the members of the United States Senate, the crypto kings and others that now have Senate seats, that they can now oversee parts of the government and, quote unquote, regulate them and make investments and profit there, too. It's welcome to the American oligarchy. David Corn, my friend, always good to see you.
Good to be here.
Thank you very much.